Hi, everyone, and welcome to the University of Massachusetts Amherst Spotlight Series, where the Undergraduate Admissions Office spotlights different departments across campus. And I'm really excited to share with you some information on one of my favorite departments, and I think a department that we don't highlight enough, in my opinion, and that is campus recreation. And my name is Rachel Bukowski. I'm one of the Assistant Directors of Admission here at the University of Massachusetts. I'm also a very proud alum. I'm going to let my panelists introduce themselves, and then we're going to dive in. These Spotlight series are sort of quick 30-minute podcast style interviews where, like I said, we spotlight different departments across campus. So I don't want to take too much more time. So Jason, we'll start with you. Go for it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jason Akerbati. I'm the Associate Director for Programs and Student Development here at Campus Recreation. Abby?
Hi, I'm Abby. I am a sophomore chemical engineering major. I'm from Pennsylvania, so UMass is kind of new to me, but I've definitely found a home here. And I work in member services at the gym. So whenever you walk into the gym, I'm one of the people you see at the front desk welcoming you into the building.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anna. I use she, her pronouns. I am a senior here at UMass. I am born, raised, and still have my beautiful home in San Juan, Puerto Rico. What I do at the rec, so I started off as a rec spin instructor. I still am. I am a nutrition advisor, and I'm also the program assistant for nutrition advising. So if you see my face around the rec, don't be afraid to say hi. I love talking.
Awesome, thank you. And you're going to hear much more from the students. Jason and I both sort of agreed before we did this that the students are the true, real, ambassadors and spokespeople for the programs. So you're going to hear much more from them. But first, my first question is, what is campus rec at UMass? It really means different things at different universities. So what does it mean here at UMass Amherst? So Jason, why don't you start, and then we'll pop it over to the students.
Well, a lot of people think of us as just a building, brick and mortar, the rec center. And what we like to say is we're much more than that. We're more than a building. We're really a community center, a place where people gather, create community, and also participate in a lot of our programs. Though that participation in a lot of those programs, whether it's intramural sports, group fitness, participating in nutrition advising, club sports, or just working out at some of our facilities or swimming in some of the pools here around campus, really impacts their student life experience. They impact their mental and physical well-being, and that can lead to better student success outcomes for them. And so we're really fortunate to be in a position that we get to change or impact a lot of people's lives.
Awesome, thank you. Anna or Abby, is there anything you want to add to that? Anything that sticks out?
Go ahead. Okay. So for me, for sure, like, I guess both of us, like, we are very out of state, so it was super new. But I think kind of what Jason was talking about, we are a gym, but we are so much more than a gym. It's so much more of a community than it is just like, oh yeah, we're coming here to work out. And I think that once people realize the community that we build around campus recreation, it's a very beautiful thing.
Yeah, I would agree with Jason and Abby both. I think being someone out of state where the majority of people already kind of have their cliques and everything, campus rec definitely helped me, and I think also you, Abby, to like find a sense of community and friends, and it became such a great community. That's what made us like want to work at this awesome place. So
Perfect. And we're gonna, oh, go ahead. Sorry, Jason.
No, I was just going to add, like, we are a very, and as typical on different college campuses, we rely heavily on our students to supervise all our facilities and operate all of our programs. And so we're really fortunate to have leaders like Anna and Abby to kind of be those spokespeople for our programs and really ambassadors for well-being for the campus community. And just to give you some context, like, we offer 110 up to 110 group fitness classes a week. We have over 6,000 unique students that participate in our intramural programs annually. And the last time we took a look at this, we had over 80% of our student undergrad population actually come through the rec center in a given year.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that too, because that's something that the students, prospective students, students looking to come to UMass are always asking about. They ask about, a lot of them know that they're not Division I athletes, so they want to get involved in a way that they can continue, being involved at that athletic level. And we always tell them that it's, one of the most popular, things to do, I guess you could say, at UMass is campus rec. And we're going to dive into actually what that all means. We'll go into more specifics. And actually, that's a good transition. One of the more popular things that campus rec kind of handles is intramural and group fitness. So I'm going to start with Abby first. You want to talk a little bit about what intramural is here at UMass, and there's different levels and kind of what that means for students here.
Yeah, so I am a part of intramural sports. I did it as a freshman. I'm doing it again as a sophomore. I've absolutely loved it. We have like 2 tiers of intramural sports. We have a just for fun and then a Top Gun. Just for fun is exactly what it sounds like. You're going with like a group of friends. You can also go in alone as like a free agent, which I think Anna's going to talk about a little bit later. But we go in and you just make a team and you play other people who also probably have never played this sport before. It is such a friendly environment. You really are going just to like try something out, very limited commitment, and it's amazing. Top Gun is then a little bit more competitive. Normally the people who do Top Gun intramural sports have played the sport before, and they're doing it to still have that competitive aspect of the sport, but significantly less commitment than like a D1 sport coming to UMass, obviously. But both of these are super inclusive. We do co-ed and open. So it doesn't matter what you identify as, what gender you are. We are very inclusive to literally everyone. And it's an amazing environment to put yourself into. It's so encouraging. I'll be playing another team in soccer and like you completely wipe out and they're like, oh my God, are you okay? Like the other team will support you before your team supports you. And so I think it's another awesome side of the campus rec community that kind of doesn't get touched on very often.
Perfect, thank you. And yeah, Anna, if you want to just talk a little bit about, the free agent days and what that means and sort of, elaborate off of that, that'd be great.
I think actually Jason could do a better job on that one than me, but I think free agent is basically just like another an opportunity for kids to just like find like groups of who they can play with and make connections with other people. So that's the great thing about like intramurals and like the rec giving this to people, because you don't necessarily have to create a group of people you already know. The campus rec gives you that opportunity to make those connections and then find a group, which is really good for people who, again, who are coming new to the campus and don't know anyone and get involved in like a very fun activity. But yeah, I don't know if like there's anything else from free agents if you want to add, Jason.
No, I think you said it well. We offer these free agent play days where people can get some experience playing the sport. We did it for the first time this year where we had actual established teams go to those free agent days and actually meet free agents that they needed, and added them to their teams right then and there. So that was a kind of cool unintended outcome that happened as a result of that. But basically, we're trying to provide, opportunities for people to get together, just like Anna said, like without really putting it on them to have those social networks prior to getting to play the activity. So we're gonna, do more of those things. We did some pop-up, little events, offering opportunities for smaller groups to get together and meet each other. And we're going to continue to try to do this, in the future.
Perfect. And a lot of students I think worry about that, especially in-state students, which I know both of you are out of state, but a lot of in-state students worry about the size of campus and it being, larger and them getting lost. And so I'm glad that you touched upon that there's a place in campus rec for everybody, and you don't have to like already come in with a team, like you don't have to know all these people to play a sport here, to play intramural. So I think that's really important for high school students to know that they can find that here. And Jason, do you want to talk a little bit about club sports? We actually get that question all the time on the road when we're talking to high school students. I think, they want to know again how they can sort of play that sport, just not that D1 level. So what does club sports look like here at UMass?
Yeah, so club sports is that in between level, in between intramural sports and the D1 varsity athletics. And basically what they are is they're made up of a group of students. There are student organizations that will get together and practice and play other campuses. So you might have a club volleyball team, they'll practice here in the rec center 3 days a week, and then they'll go off and play different universities on the weekend or host a tournament. They will do their own fundraising. They're the ones that initiate the purchase orders for their jerseys. They'll decide whether or not they want to hire a coach and have that level of support. But all of it is done, basically manage the day-to-day operations by the students themselves. So it not only is an outlet for a more competitive and more committed, student that really, wants that experience, but also provides leadership opportunities for those that are involved in the organization of the club itself, which is really a driving force behind what we're doing, providing student development and learning opportunities for students through the sport activity that they're going to be participating in. So it's really a cool, unique, ability to get the best of both worlds for students.
It's funny you mentioned volleyball as your example. That's probably the #1 sport we get asked at, is if we have that at the club level. Particularly this year, I've been getting so many questions about club volleyball this year. Some years just have this popular, thing that people want to know. So perfect. Okay, so intramural and club is definitely, probably one of the most popular questions, we get on the admissions side. But I also want to highlight, there's a lot of things that Campus Rec does that I think a lot of people don't know about. And so I want to make sure we highlight those. So I'm going to ask Anna. Anna's involved in, nutrition advising and wellness here at UMass and with the Rec Center. So Anna, I'm going to just kind of hand it over to you if you want to talk more about that. I know this is sort of your baby. So the floor is yours.
Yeah, so this is basically my baby, but so the nutrition advising program, basically it's a group of advisors that we try to help any person in the UMass community to reach their nutritional goals. So we are all a group of students, nutrition majors, and we've all taken specific courses and trainings to be considered nutrition advisors, before it was a 1 semester training, now it's a 2 semester training, where we talk about we learn about and talk about the different skills of advising someone about how to change their nutritional habits and being more overall healthy in a sense. And we've been seeing a lot of people right now. It's usually the most common clients that we see are first year students, very overwhelmed with the dining halls. UMass is #1 in dining and great food, but it can definitely be overwhelming because kids usually, when they come to prior to coming to UMass, they don't have technically a choice of what they get to eat, but now they have so many options, and creating a plate definitely could be sort of challenging. So we as nutrition advisors, we always try to emphasize that, and what we call a balanced eating of we follow a specific guide, and that we try to promote it to everyone. But we can get clients from anything from wanting to gain weight to weight loss, to gain muscle. We primarily see a lot of people who want to gain muscle because we are in it's a recreation center. So people want to gain a little bit of muscle. And we have different resources like professors, nutrition professors that can help us with guiding them for better food options or anything else around that. And we also, another component that we try to emphasize is body positivity in our program. So a lot of people, right now we live in a society where there's certain types of body people are trying to achieve, but all advisors are really aware of being body inclusive in all shapes or sizes, and no matter your race or sex or what you affiliate yourself with. So that's something we try to highlight as much as our program. And then I think it's important to know that all students get 3 free sessions per semester. So they can do it at any time, and they can sign up really easily through a Google form. So that's basically it.
Thank you. No, that was perfect. And I'm glad you touched upon that. I think it's interesting that, like you said, nutrition and when you're talking about building your plate, high school students don't think about that as much. They think about getting here and the dining is going to be awesome, and UMass has #1 dining, and that's super exciting. But then they don't think about, oh, wait a minute, what about being healthy and fit and all that good stuff. So I'm glad that you touched upon that. Jason or Abby, was there anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, since Anna brought up free in terms of costs and things like that. The majority of our programs are free for undergraduate students. Really, one thing, we offer a lifeguard certification course. We offer swim lessons and then personal training, which are paid for services. But again, participating in intramural sports, group fitness classes, coming to work out in one of our facilities, going for a swim, or anything like that, is all part of being enrolled here at UMass.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I was going to ask that at the end. If I was like, I forgot to ask about that. So I'm glad you touched upon that. Perfect. So we kind of already highlighted this, but and people have probably gathered this at this point. But Anna and Abby, you both work in the rec center. This is a job for you. I mean, it's more than a job, I should say. But you both sort of, touched upon it being like a home away from home. And this has been, a really just an integral part of your UMass experience. So I'd love if you could just talk a little bit about that, more in depth, like what it's like being a student leader, at the rec center, with campus rec, and really anything else you want to add. You can talk about working there, or group fitness, or really whatever comes to your mind. So Abby, we'll start with you.
Okay, yeah. So kind of like how we mentioned before, but being an out-of-state student coming here, like as you said, like in-state students think that UMass is really big, but when you're coming from out of state, like coming to this massive campus, like it is really overwhelming. And I know personally, I was like, oh, I need a job. I was like, I have to start, paying up my loans. So when I found out that I could work at the rec center, I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, this would be great. I was like, this would also get me kind of acquainted with the gym so that like I know what it looks like. So I applied to work there. And I just thought it was going to be this job where, like I was going to sit there and like I was going to do my homework and like I'm still going to be like, I'm going to be like in my own head. But it is like way more than that. We are at the front desk, like we are the first people that you see when you walk into the gym. It's really nice being a student leader in campus rec because like you don't think about it and like you're like, oh, like college students are afraid to ask questions. But when like you're a college student seeing another college student, it's so much easier to like ask a question or to like be confused about something, because like we at one point were just as confused. Like the only reason we know is because we were trained. Like, so it's okay. And I just like love being able to help people who like come in and they're like, there are people who walk into the gym and they don't know how to like get into the weight room. Like they don't actually know like where to enter the gym. So when they come and they ask you, like they're really nervous and they're like kind of like, oh, I feel bad. And it's really nice to just be that person who can like lead them in the right direction so that they feel more comfortable. And when they come into the gym, it can be more of like a safe place rather than somewhere that's like super intimidating. So having that responsibility through the gym, being that kind of student leader, even though like I'm literally just a sophomore, first semester really on campus, it has been absolutely amazing. And I really feel like I have learned so much, and I cannot wait to continue doing it. Anna, you can probably talk more because I know you've worked at the gym for a lot longer. So you can go ahead.
So I've worked at campus rec since my sophomore year. I started off as a spinning instructor. I am still a spinning instructor. That's my first job I got at campus rec. And I mostly did it also because of what Abby said. I was really homesick when I got to UMass, and I called my mom every day. I still do, but I'm not that frequently as much. But I called her, and every time she told me like, "Where do you feel most safe?" And I always said campus rec, because no matter like how I felt and like I didn't know anyone, I knew that when I went to a group fitness class, I felt a sense of community. I could meet someone next to me, and there would be like working as hard as me in like a spinning class. So that's when I like did a click. I don't want anyone to like feel homesick or anything like that. And I feel like me teaching like a spin class could help someone who was feeling the same way I was doing, especially like I teach my classes with like Spanish music and half in English and half in Spanish. So giving like, I know that I've met a lot of Latinx students around campus saying like appreciating that I put those type of music, because like it also like it opens up another community that we might not be seeing that much at campus rec. So I was super excited about that. And then I definitely want to do nutrition advising since I came to orientate, like when I went to first year like orientation, and they talked about it and they do it. I knew that I wanted to do it. And once I started doing it again, it's like such an impactful job on people's lives. And again, Abby did a great make a great point in the sense that we're all students. So hearing advice or helping a student from a student, I think is more meaningful because we're in the same level of understanding of like the challenges that we go through to college. So like it's super rewarding when I finish a spinning class and people are like, I really appreciate that. I really had a hard day. And like I just went to this class and I just feel like a new person. And then for someone who is like doing nutrition advising, they understand like if there was a professional doing it and they're not in the dining hall, like knowing where is everything, they could not even understand or relate to like everything. For example, there's a lot of people that talk about the different stations that they have at the dining hall, and I go to the dining hall all the time, so I knew where to lead them. So it's so much easier being like a student leader in that sense. And being being a student leader, again, it's just like a amazing opportunity. I've learned so much in all the jobs I had at Campus Rec, and definitely like my experience at UMass would not have been the same if I didn't apply for these jobs. So
Jason, doesn't hearing them talk about this make you want to go back and do it all over and then do different paths? And that's how I always feel when these students, you both just are such good representations of Campus Rec and the university. And I know I told you that off camera, but I'm telling you on camera now.
Yeah, they make our jobs really easy. It's hard not to get emotional listening to them describe those things. So yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, and I'm already a crier, so we won't go there. But I was thinking the same thing. Okay, so as kind of just like a final wrap up question, we have a couple minutes. You both kind of already said this, so I don't. If you feel like you already like answered it, you can just say you already said it. But what's been like your favorite moment working? You talked more broad, I guess. But is there like a specific moment working for the rec center that's just like stuck out for you? Like, is there somebody, I don't know, maybe somebody you helped, or like a specific time you just felt, really great working there, or, something you can remember? I don't know who wants to go first.
I
Go
can.
ahead, yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a two-parter. One of my first days on the job, I was like sitting there and there were like, I started working during like COVID is when they had like a lot of people working because there were a lot more like protocols that we had. But one day there were just like too many of us. And so my boss, her name is Lori, she was like, okay, like who's never been around the gym? And I was like, me. I was like, I haven't. I was like, I sit at the front desk, but I haven't actually been anywhere. And so she took one of like our seasoned girls who like had been working there for like 4 years. They're like, hey, like why don't you take her on a tour? And so she like took me on a tour, and she was like, okay, I'm going to give you like a regular tour. And she's like, but then I'll also give you like as if I'm giving a tour, because when students and parents come in, if they want an actual tour of the gym, that's also like another part of our job. And so she just kind of like walked me around and like showed me around, and it was like a really fun experience, and it was just something new. And then a couple weeks later, someone came in and was like, hey, like, can anyone give me a tour of the gym? And we were all new. And so we were just like, who wants to bite the bullet? Like nobody wants to do it. But I was like, okay, like, I guess I will. So I like took this family on a tour, and like at the end, like we were like just like talking about stuff. And the dad was like, this was an amazing tour. He's like, I feel like I really got a lot out of this experience. And he was just like, thank you so much for telling me. He was like, there's a lot of things in Campus Rec that I didn't know you guys even did. And I was just like, it was like one of those like surreal moments when it was just like, when like the, like I was like learning, and then I finally got to like help someone the way that like the girl who gave me the tour kind of did. And so it was kind of like a full circle thing that just like really made me so much more like appreciative of the community that we built here at Campus Rec.
I love that. That's a great example. Go ahead, Anna.
Mine's not a specific moment, but I can tell you that so Campus Rec also holds events like outside, like other than like the group fitness and intramurals. So we do like sunset yoga, like we just recently had like an event called You Glow. And I think every time the event, the aftermath, like after the event or when the event is going and everything, it seems perfect. That's like my favorite part of working at Campus Rec. So every time we have an event, obviously planning for any event and anything in life, it's a little stressful at the beginning, but the end product is so rewarding, and seeing everyone enjoying what they do. So like, for example, sunset yoga, I like watched from the side and looked like at the sunset while everyone was doing yoga and just being together as a community, just enjoying one single activity. Same for you play, we all like just like setting it up was like super like in like fun and like really anxious, but then when you just sit back and look at the final product is like the most amazing thing, because we are touching the life of so many people right now. And same with you glow, that was the best event in my life that I've seen campus rec so far. Then again, it's just like you see, and then the good thing being able to come back to these events, you see people coming back. So like people do like them, people do feel safe in these environments, and that's like super rewarding because like that's what I like personally came here to work at Campus Rec, is to help like others around my community. So
That's perfect. Thank you both. Jason, is there anything you want to add? You don't necessarily have to share your best moment if you don't want, but anything you want to, unless you want to, but anything you want to add that you think we missed or didn't touch upon before we close out here?
No, I think we hit most of it. I think these two did a phenomenal job, explaining, kind of giving you the flavor of what, who we are and what we're about, and what we can offer folks. So,
No, I agree. And I said this in the beginning, but now you all know why we have the students join us, because Jason and I talking at you is not super fun. The students are what make this university what it is. And that's why we have them. So thank you all for sharing with us. And like I said, I think this is a department that we definitely can highlight more, and because it does so much more than what people just know from the name of it. So I want to thank you. And obviously, if you're watching this, it is recorded, so you know where to find it, but we have a lot of other spotlights up on our YouTube channel and our website, so definitely take a look at those to see all the other departments that we've been highlighting over the past year since we've been virtual. But again, I want to thank our panelists, and we wish you all the best.